Hi guys, good morning and welcome back once again to the Ed Word. I'm your host Eddie, and in tonight's I'm still on evening mode. In today's video, I will be discussing what I thought of the latest and pretty good episode of Evil, which dropped today on Paramount Plus. I just got done watching it. I liked it fine. Now, before I get into all of that, of course, please be warned, this is a spoiler-filled review. So if you're not caught up on Evil by the latest episode, which is the 4th episode today, you do not want to keep watching or listening, as I will be going into spoilers. That being said, you have been warned. Let's dive right back into it. This was another case, and I think I'm beginning to understand why I didn't feel as strongly about this episode as I have about past episodes, where the perpetrator or the explanation behind the case they're investigating is human in nature. It turned out, there were supposed reports of a haunted highway of truckers being terrorized by something with red eyes. The radio would abruptly come on, and of course the channel said 666, and there was screaming, demonic voices, and a fanatical preacher saying batshit crazy stuff. And it turned out to be just a guy with a radio transmitter who would hack into radio signals in people's vehicles. And it was a drone that looked like a pair of glowing red eyes following people. So the drone would hack into the radio signals of whatever cars he was targeting. It was just to fuck with people or mess with people, I guess. I don't know. Ben referred to it as another cloud chaser, just somebody with nothing better to do, I guess. It's funny too, because the guy said his name was Russ Owlman, and that's funny because I think they were referencing the legend of the Owlman, which is a real legend. The Owlman itself may or may not necessarily be real, but there's a legend of a cryptid, a creature called the Owlman, which is basically what it sounds like, half man, half owl, and it's got big red glowing eyes, often compared to and looks like a demon, according to legend, and different eyewitness encounters. So I think the writers of this episode knew that when writing this and said, hey, let's have this guy's last name be Owlman. So I thought that was a funny little cryptid reference. I'm not sure where the woman empowerment thing came from out of the blue. Oh, I did like the sentiment behind it, though, and I loved Kristen's badass take no shit actions when dealing with the contractor who was potentially may or may not have been trying to screw her out of their original deal or whatever. Most likely he was. But I did like how Kristen was inspired by her daughter, of all people. Why is it that boys get away with everything, but girls always have to say sorry? And I'm like, damn, that really registers, doesn't it? It's like, I think it's a reflection of like what society has been asking for the past couple years as well, or maybe even longer, just the past couple years. Anyway, but I liked Kristen's newfound confidence throughout the rest of the episode because it allowed her to stop the human from Russell Owlman from sending out his hacking radio signals into terrorizing truckers and people on the supposedly haunted highway. And that put an end to the case. And I think the reason why I liked this episode fine, but I think the reason why I didn't love it like I've loved other episodes is mostly because I enjoy the episodes when whatever it is they are investigating does include a monster or a demon, and it's something that is actually demonic in nature and not human-based. That's what makes it more interesting and compelling to me. In fact, if it weren't, and I'm also grateful because when they said it's the guy from YouTube, I'm like, the guy from YouTube? Because at first that threw me off. I'm like, who's this guy again? Like, I did not recognize him at all. And thankfully, they included that brief mini flashback of Kristen slugging this guy in the grocery store. And I'm like, oh, this guy from last year, from last season. Okay, that's what it is. What the hell does he want? And of course, he wanted an apology to appease his fragile white male ego, I guess. And of course, that's what Kristen did just to get him off her property. And again, I'm grateful that the show included that mini flashback because I had no idea and did not recognize this guy at all when we first saw him. I'm like, who the hell is this? And then they refresh us. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. So I am grateful for the refreshers if they're doing stuff, going to be referring to stuff or characters from last season when it's been a year and it may be hard for some of us to remember all the exact details. Speaking of details, we did get some information from the Vatican Secret Service guy after claiming Owlman killed himself. It turns out that he was part of a demonic family, and I think that's what we can refer to Leland's little group the one that Kristen's mother is also a part of when they held their weird cannibal party thing last year or whatever. So I guess that's a demon family, but we don't know if that's like a familial thing or if it's like just a cult group thing of strangers coming together to worship Satan or believe and worship demons and whatnot. And especially with Leland at the front of it, we just simply don't know yet. But it was interesting to know that all those sigils represented different demonic families. And will our characters encounter more this season? Maybe. We'll have to keep watching and see. But overall, good episode. I think it just would have been a tad more interesting and entertaining for me personally if whatever they were investigating truly was demonic or supernatural based and not human based. But sometimes this show does remind us that that's their job. These guys assess situations as to whether or not it's something supernatural or something natural, like human based or whatever. So this was just one of those episodes, but I still liked it all the same. It was a good watch. I'm hoping that the Sister Andrea storyline wraps up soon, and by which I mean I hope they find her competent and don't make her retire, because I feel like this is just a ploy by Leland to get rid of her. So hopefully she'll be okay, but at least she's got David vouching for her. Fingers crossed. What did you guys think of this episode? I'd love to hear your thoughts and feelings on them. Thank you so much for watching. Evil drops new episodes every Sunday on Paramount Plus. Check them out. They're a lot of fun. Have a great rest of your day and a happy 4th of July, and a safe one too if I don't see you later tomorrow. And of course, until next time, may the force be with you.